A Westerner's Understanding of Africana Ethics by Mackenzie Skogstad. I had the pleasure of interviewing my coworker, Lorraine Nyambura. She was born and raised in the Molo village in Nakuru, Kenya, and belonging to the ethnic group of Kikuyu people. She attended boarding school for middle school and high school in Nyeri, near Mount Kenya. She noted that ethical beliefs vary village to village, while some beliefs and values are widely held throughout the entire country. Her mission statement: I'm a person who values honesty, open-mindedness, and a deep value for my culture and family. We are a business-minded people, and our hard work is rewarded by our success. Lorraine discussed the fact that there's a combination of Kenyan ethics and Christianity. However, pre-colonialization, there was still a monotheistic creator within their religious beliefs, Ngayat, as well as a significant veneration for ancestors and elders. Prayers would be done facing specific landmasses like Mount Kenya or rivers, depending upon the location of a people. And it was really significant in how much pride the Kenyan people take in their natural resources and the escape of their lands. Post-colonialization, Kenya, and specifically Nakuru, became predominantly Christian. However, it's pretty diverse with a relatively peaceful coexistence of multiple Christian faiths and denominations, Islam, and there are still some country of origin traditional beliefs in practice. Lorraine spoke specifically about this concept of being cursed if you did not respect your elders, or you didn't care for your parents as an adult or things like that, and even as a child you needed to respect and care for them. And otherwise you would be cursed by entities equivalent to lesser gods or ancestors or something along those energetic, powerful guides. And this is a belief that is pretty predominant throughout Kenya while still holding on to the Christian belief of Jesus Christ and his teachings. Lorraine talked about the specifically aligning of one's actions with their values as a significant driver of ethical decision making. She discussed how traditional values like marriage and the unity of family really kind of rule over the social aspects of the youngsters and the general adults. It should be noted that there is a prevalence of misogyny within the Kenyan culture, and in smaller communities where there are lower rates of literacy and less access to education, there are practices like female genital mutilation, polygamy, and child marriages. But she emphasized that those are in areas that do not have the same access or the same literacy rates as some of the bigger cities like Nairobi and Nakuru, along those lines. And there's also still this veneration for elders, for the natural resources of the land and the culture itself. They're so proud of who they are as a people that it's almost difficult to articulate. One thing that Lorraine emphasized was the fact that curses are widely believed in her culture, and the Western perspective really doesn't give the weight to that force and that energy. These curses are not performed by people. It's not like a concept of witchcraft or anything. It's because of the actions you take or the disrespect you give to elders or your parents that uh, ancestors or energetic equivalents to lesser gods would perform these curses, and they're very real and they're a very real fear. um, One of the things that she found the most striking and a culture shock was the commonness in not taking care of our elderly parents or older adults, and the casual and informal ways that we communicate with those elders. Cursing is absolutely out of the question in her culture when it's with elders. Another thing is Lorraine was under the impression that corporal punishment was completely legal here, so we ended up having like a really interesting conversation about how common it was for her to experience that in school, and how that it absolutely does happen here, not in schools, but in family units, and it depends on socioeconomic status and family cultures and things of that nature. I found it really significant and powerful how the Kikuyu people and Kenyan people have this ability to be casual and comfortable with polarity and with duality. The way that they enmesh Christian beliefs and traditional Kikuyu superstitions, I think, is really incredible to be able to take on something like colonization and deal with its influence, but still make it your own. And it speaks to the pride of the people and how they resourced things. And I also think that activism and rebellion are being so deeply connected to Kenyan people while also having this notable veneration for elders when those are usually the people that we are performing activism against because they usually run things. I just think that it's powerful that they can acknowledge that you can do both. And I, as a value of acceptance and open mindedness, like she talked about earlier in her mission statement. Thank you for watching my presentation. Kenya is a proud and beautiful country with complex cultural variations across the counties. From the natural landscapes to wildlife to its people, Kenya exists as a synthesis of values and ethics.